Hello, Leo, radiant child of the sun. Welcome to this deep and transformative horoscope reading, created just for you. And let's get one thing clear from the very first seconds: this is not a random message. You were meant to find this. You are being summoned by something greater. The judge has already hit the hammer. Something has been decided in the higher courts of the universe. A karmic verdict has been delivered, and as a result, big money is coming your way. Not someday. Not maybe. But within 72 hours. Your name is on the spiritual decree, and the payout is real. Take a moment. Let that truth sink in. Why are you here right now? Why did you click this video when you did? Maybe your heart has been feeling restless lately. Maybe your soul has sensed something shifting. That is not your imagination. That is alignment. That is destiny whispering your name and finally shouting it. Because Leo, your light has been seen. Not just by others, but by the divine. As your ruling planet, the sun, rises into new cosmic position, it activates everything about you: your confidence, your leadership, your power to manifest abundance. This isn't just a reading. This is a mirror. What you are about to hear will reflect both who you've been and who you're about to become. And let me say this clearly. You are not here to be told what to do. You are here to remember that you are the author of your fate. You are the one who chooses how to rise. Now, before we dive deeper, allow me to take a sacred pause and say this with my full heart. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Your presence, your likes, your comments, your subscriptions, they are not just numbers. They are energy. They are momentum. They are what keeps this channel, Eternal Mindfulness, glowing and expanding with each soul who joins us. Every comment you leave. Every moment you choose to stay. Every word you share with this community. It matters more than you know. And trust me, Leo, you will want to stay with me until the very last second of this reading, because what the universe is preparing to reveal to you is nothing short of breathtaking. So now, I ask you, what part of you is calling out for this message? What dream inside you has been waiting to be confirmed? Drop a comment below right now and say, I allow my light to shine, and I receive my destined victory. Let the universe see your declaration. Let your energy join the grid. Let it begin. And if you're ready, let's open the first door together. When the cards of justice, the sun, and the letter appear together, they don't just speak of a moment, they reveal a culmination. A truth that's been waiting patiently in silence, now ready to be spoken aloud. In the cosmic rhythm of your life, this is not merely a sign, it is a signal. A confirmation that something long owed to you, energetically or materially, has finally been acknowledged and affirmed by the fabric of reality itself. The message is clear, the verdict is in, and you are on the receiving end of a divine yes. In astrological language, Leo is ruled by the sun, the great illuminator, the unwavering source of life. It's not a passive planet, it calls things forth. It demands truth, vitality, recognition. So when justice and the sun appear side by side, especially in a reading for Leo, the energy becomes unmistakable. What has been hidden will be revealed. What has been unfair will be balanced. What is rightfully yours will find its way back, not through force, but through clarity. Now, the presence of the letter card often refers to a message, a document, a signature, something official. It carries the weight of finality. Combined with the numerological influence of 72, a number symbolizing divine timing, karmic return, and material delivery, what we're seeing here is not just a tarot metaphor. It's a very real indication that financial resolution is already in motion. Whether it's a court ruling, a long-delayed payment, or a long-lost opportunity returning to your life, the energetic door has been opened. You're not hoping for it, you're preparing for it. And yet, this moment calls for more than excitement. It asks for presence. Imagine a cup placed beneath a waterfall. It can only hold what it's ready to receive. In that same way, this financial breakthrough asks you to be both receptive and responsible. That's why the real wisdom here lies not only in the receiving, but in the handling. A practical suggestion, one rooted not in fear, but in trust, is to divide this incoming abundance with intention. One part for immediate needs, to affirm the present. One part to be stored, to honor the future. And one part to be invested in something that deepens your energy, perhaps learning something new, perhaps healing the body, perhaps nurturing stillness. In doing so, you are not just managing money. You are blessing it. You are giving it the chance to grow into something greater than transaction, into transformation. There is also a deeper layer at play. In many ancient teachings, it is said that things come to us when we are finally still enough to see them clearly. That sometimes, the gift was not waiting to be given, we were simply not ready to receive. And so, this 72-hour window is not just about what's coming toward you. It is also about what is waking up within you. A sense of worth. A deep breath of alignment. A knowing that you don't have to chase what is already moving in your direction. So, if your heart has been whispering for a sign, this is it. Not because it tells you what to do, but because it mirrors what you already know. The wait is over. The cycle has turned. The return is inevitable. Now I want to invite you to ground this moment by claiming it out loud. Type it into the comments below. My victory is sacred and right on time. Let your intention echo back into the field. Let it be witnessed. Let it begin. Following the energy of justice and resolution, there comes a quieter, more personal shift, one that doesn't show up on paper, but in the space between hearts. After the dust settles and the universe delivers what is rightfully yours, something else often begins to stir, the energy of reconnection. When the Six of Cups and the Knight of Cups appear, they don't just speak of the past, they reflect something tender rising again from memory. Someone who once had a piece of your heart may now be finding their way back into your awareness. And the question becomes not, are they sorry, but rather, do they belong in your present? Regret has a vibration. It moves slowly, like a ripple reaching you from across time. But sometimes, those who return aren't coming back to repeat the past, they are coming back because they've changed, or because they finally see what they once overlooked. Still, that recognition, however sincere, doesn't mean you're required to open the same door twice. You're not the same person they once knew. And just as they are showing up with a new understanding, you, too, must meet them with your present clarity. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not approval. It's not surrender. It's an act of release, a quiet decision to no longer carry the weight of what already happened. You forgive because your heart was never meant to be a container for resentment. And when you let go, it's not for them. It's for your peace. The wisdom here is in discerning. Does this person's return reflect growth, or is it simply a loop repeating itself? Leo, your nature is radiant, loyal, and deeply generous. You love fully, you give from the core of your being, and when someone breaks your trust, it takes immense courage to even look in their direction again. But this moment, if it's arriving in your field, is not here to test you, it's here to remind you that your boundaries are not walls. They are mirrors. They show others how to treat you based on how you value yourself. You don't need to rush to a yes or no. You only need to listen to your body, your intuition, and the rhythm of your breath when this person appears again. There's a quiet lesson woven into this situation, one that many overlook. Not everything unresolved needs to be rekindled. Sometimes, closure comes not in getting back together, but in finally seeing clearly what was never fully aligned to begin with. And sometimes, just sometimes, we are given a second chance, not to relive the past, but to love again with wisdom we didn't have before. The question is not whether they deserve to return to your life. The real question is, do you still need them to? Have you become whole in their absence? And if you do choose to let them back in, is it from a place of empowerment, or from a longing to restore something that was never truly balanced? This is the gift of the present moment, the power to choose from clarity rather than emotion. To act not out of nostalgia, but from self-respect. When we observe our emotional reactions without becoming consumed by them, we begin to master our own experience. We start to see that love, like all things, requires wisdom to flourish. Not every seed must be replanted. So now I gently ask you, if someone from your past returned with an apology in their eyes, would your heart lean in or step back? There's no right or wrong, only alignment. If you feel called, share your truth in the comments below. What would you choose now that you couldn't choose back then? When you begin to release the weight of the past, the judgment, the regret, the unfinished story, something remarkable happens. Your field begins to clear. And in that newfound spaciousness, life moves. Not from force, but from alignment. This is often the moment when a message arrives. A sudden invitation. An email. A call. A glance across the room. The form varies, but the essence remains. The universe is reaching out to you with a new door. The question is whether you're truly present enough to hear the knock. In this reading, the presence of the letter and the Knight of Wands is significant. They suggest action sparked by communication, but not just any action. This is movement that carries the essence of purpose, creativity, and momentum. The Knight of Wands doesn't hesitate. He trusts his instinct. He shows up. And when paired with the letter, it points to a message that not only delivers opportunity, but demands a response. Silence won't do. You're being asked to step forward and declare your readiness. The energetic signature of angel number 111 reinforces this shift. It often appears when the conditions are right for new beginnings, not as random luck, but as the natural result of prior alignment. The thoughts you've been shaping, the habits you've been refining, the inner work you've committed to, they are opening a frequency where opportunity can find you. This is not a reward. It is a reflection. Astrologically, the timing is no accident. With Venus entering a fire sign, your natural Leo energy is being amplified. This cosmic influence enhances attraction not just in love, but in visibility. You may notice people suddenly paying more attention. Your ideas getting noticed. A sense of magnetic flow that you didn't have to force. That's Venus in fire. It doesn't push, it pulls. It reminds you that showing up in your full, radiant presence is enough. When you do, the right people, the right paths, and the right invitations will appear. Still, readiness is not only about emotion or intention. It is also about preparation. You wouldn't walk into a sacred space without first washing your hands and clearing your mind. The same applies to the opportunities ahead. They deserve your respect, not your rush. That's why grounding practices matter. Before you say yes to anything big, take a breath. Literally. Inhale clarity. Exhale hesitation. Write down what you want to communicate, even if it's just to yourself. Rehearse not to impress, but to remember who you are. And most importantly, visualize success not as a fantasy but as something already alive inside you. There is a teaching that says, when the moment arrives, it does not announce itself as a miracle. It arrives looking ordinary: a Tuesday afternoon message, a last-minute meeting, an unexpected question in a crowded room. The miracle is not in the event. It is in the eyes that see it for what it truly is. So if your intuition has been stirring lately, if something in you has felt the nudge to get ready, without even knowing why, this is that moment revealing itself. This is the alignment clicking into place. The script is turning, and you're not just reading lines anymore. You're stepping into the lead. If that resonates, speak it into form. Type it in the comments now: I am ready to take the lead in my own story. Let that sentence be the beginning of your reply to the invitation that's on its way. Because Leo, the door is not just about to open, it's already unlocking. And all it needs now is your courage to turn the handle. After the arrival of an invitation, the energy naturally shifts into a space of anticipation. And with anticipation often comes a strange silence, a pause. It's in this pause that many people start to question the very things they just believed in moments earlier. Doubt creeps in quietly, not because you lack faith, but because you've been trained by life to associate stillness with stagnation. But what if this delay is not a punishment? What if it's a recalibration not of fate, but of your own readiness? The 5 of Swords and 5 of Pentacles together create a unique message. They don't represent failure. They represent a distortion in perception caused by unmet expectation. Perhaps someone hasn't responded to your proposal, or a payment hasn't arrived, or that life-changing call you were promised hasn't come through. It's easy in those moments to spiral into stories. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe the opportunity is gone. But these are just thoughts, not truths. In moments like this, the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself is pause and observe the mind without identifying with it. It's a form of inner watching, the ability to recognize, this is the moment I usually start to doubt myself. And in seeing it, you take the first step away from the storm. Delay is not the same as denial. Sometimes life holds back the next step, not because it's uncertain but because it wants you to be certain. And certainty doesn't come from outcome, it comes from presence. The one who waits in stillness, without clinging, becomes the one who sees most clearly. Just like the moon waxes slowly before becoming full, Not all growth is visible at first glance. But it's happening nonetheless. This is where conscious practices become your allies, not just coping tools. Warm water in the morning clears not just the body but also sets a tone of gentleness and care. A simple act like walking with intention, not distraction, helps reset your frequency. It reminds you that you are not waiting in stillness, you are moving with grace. Emotional journaling gives your inner self a voice without judgment. When your feelings are allowed to speak without being rushed or dismissed, they often soften on their own. And above all, what you speak to yourself in these moments matters. Language is a mirror to belief. So rather than narrating your day with phrases like, "Why is this taking so long?" or "Nothing ever works out for me," try shifting into a softer truth: "Everything is arriving right on time." Say it out loud. Say it even when your mind resists. Say it until your nervous system relaxes. You are not lying to yourself, you are reminding yourself that you're not in control of time, only of trust. What you're waiting for isn't floating away. It's on its way, and sometimes, it just takes a little longer to align all the invisible pieces. The person reviewing your application may have gotten sick. The transfer may have been held up by a technicality. The conversation you're waiting for might be waiting for the exact right moment when both hearts are open. Not knowing the reason doesn't mean there isn't one. So I invite you to anchor your patience in presence. Don't run ahead, and don't run away. Sit with yourself like you would with a friend who is afraid, calmly, kindly, without needing to fix it. And if you feel called, share with me in the comments. What are you currently waiting for, and how can I hold space with you for it? Let us make the wait meaningful, not just manageable. Because waiting doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. After weathering the quiet trials of waiting, after holding steady when doubt tempted you to fold inward, something gentle but unmistakable begins to rise within your field, a shift in warmth, a softening of tension, a glimmer of light that doesn't come from outside, but from within. This is the moment when life rewards not only the outcome, but the state of being that allowed it to unfold. The Nine of Pentacles and the Sun together carry a clear message: you've entered a season of harvest. And what's blossoming now is the fruit of your earlier clarity, patience, and self-respect. Financial blessings often arrive not through force, but through alignment. That's why this isn't just about money. It's about what the money reflects. It may be a well-deserved raise, a client who finally says yes, or an unexpected refund landing in your account. It might even be praise or recognition that opens new doors. But what truly matters is how this energy makes you feel grounded, empowered, and reconnected to your inner worth. In the language of energy, wealth is not merely the accumulation of currency. It's the feeling of sufficiency, the breath of ease, the ability to give and receive without grasping. That's why those who chase money often feel further from it, while those who tend to their alignment first begin to attract it with surprising grace. The sun doesn't compete to shine, it just shows up. And Leo, as the child of the sun, you're being called to remember that your light was never meant to hustle. It was meant to radiate. When you enter this magnetic field of confidence, something powerful happens. People notice. Not just because of what you have, but because of how you carry what you have. This is why now is a perfect time to wear colors that amplify your solar energy, shades like golden bronze or amber orange. These tones stimulate your solar plexus, the energetic center of self-trust and charisma. They don't just make you look radiant, they remind you that radiance is your nature. But don't mistake joy for distraction. There is a practice here too. Can you allow yourself to feel joy without guilt? Can you let yourself receive without immediately fearing it will vanish? That's the deeper invitation of this moment. To breathe in gratitude, not as a ritual, but as a way of being. To look around and notice not what's missing, but what's already enough. And when more comes, as it inevitably will, to greet it with the same calm smile you offered to emptiness. There is an insight often shared by those who have mastered simplicity. When we stop chasing outcomes, life becomes spacious. Spaciousness doesn't mean empty. It means open. In that openness, prosperity has room to enter and move freely. It doesn't get blocked by anxiety or clinging. It flows. So if you're starting to feel this shift even subtly, if a small smile escapes when you check your balance, or a breath of relief surprises you in the middle of the day, trust that. You're not imagining it. You're experiencing the result of choosing alignment over control. If this resonates, take a moment now to affirm it. Write in the comments, "I am the embodiment of abundance and gratitude." Say it not just for this moment, but for the many moments to come, when joy returns not as a guest, but as a home you've built from the inside out. If you're still here, listening until the final breath of this message, then I know something about you. You're not just here for predictions. You're here because deep down, you already feel the call. You're awakening to the truth that your life isn't shaped by chance, but by the choices you make when the universe taps you on the shoulder. And today, Leo, it tapped. Loud and clear. Throughout this reading, you've seen the pieces. Money is not just coming, it's returning to you as a reflection of your alignment. Someone from the past may be knocking on the door again, not to disrupt your peace, but to mirror the healing you've already done. A new opportunity may be subtle, maybe grand, is on its way, inviting you to step into your highest role yet. And though the wait might stretch longer than expected, you now understand that delay doesn't mean denial. It means the universe is still fine-tuning something big, just for you. And here's what makes all of this real: your light. The sun, your ruling force, has never once asked for permission to rise. It just does. Consistently. Confidently. And that's your cue to rise, to take up space, to stop holding back the brilliance you came here to embody. Because Leo, your light is not just for you. It's a response to a universe that is constantly whispering, "I see you. I chose you." Now, will you choose yourself? Let me invite you to try something simple but powerful. Starting tonight, take just 5 minutes, no noise, no pressure, and sit with your breath. Place your hands on your chest and repeat silently or aloud, "I shine," without needing permission. Let that be your compass. Let that be your anchor. And when the financial breakthrough arrives, when the message comes, when the right person returns, you'll already be standing in the light, not chasing it. If it feels right, write down 3 things you will do differently the moment your abundance lands, even if it's just taking yourself out to dinner, giving a little extra to someone in need, or saying yes to something you've been too afraid to try. Because when the moment comes, it's not just about having the opportunity. It's about being ready for it. And now I ask you, what would you do differently today if you knew tomorrow everything would change in your favor? Would you walk taller? Would you speak kinder to yourself? Would you prepare with joy instead of fear? Let me know in the comments below. Share your answer. Share your energy. This space, this channel Eternal Mindfulness isn't just here to talk at you. It's here to walk with you. You are not alone in this. Your light is part of something bigger, and when you claim it, you help others claim theirs too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time, your trust, your presence. Every like, every comment, every new subscriber doesn't just support the channel, it deepens the frequency we're all building together. And trust me when I say, we're just getting started. If this message lit something within you, let it stay lit. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss what the universe will whisper next. And always remember, this is Eternal Mindfulness, the place where your light is never too much. It's exactly what the world needs.